I just realized that it is time for me to do my Cancer zodiac sign video, and I was in my house taking a bunch of photos and I'm waiting on my friends, so I'm just in a robe, and I was like, oh shit, I need to get dressed again to film. No, it's a video on Cancers. I'm gonna do the fucking video in my robe on the floor as I see a gnat going towards the window trying to, okay, whatever. So, if you know me, you know that I get along so well with Cancers. Doesn't mean I'm giving this video more attention than the other, signs, just because everything's neutral, but I get along very well with Cancers, so I feel like because I've attracted so many into my life, I can explain Cancer energy very well, because if there are two signs that I get along extremely well with, it is Cancers and Scorpios, and I'm literally gonna see a Cancer tonight, so I know the energy very well. So Cancer, first and foremost, is a water sign. Water signs are the archetypes epitomized by emotion. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, they're all living their life according to feelings and the way that they are vibing in the world, more so than logic, or more so than even like excitement or creativity like fire signs might be. And this is not to say that if you are a water sign that you are particularly emotional more so than other people, although it usually does. This is just to say that the purest expression of Cancer as a sign is emotional, and we're all a combination of signs, so this is not to say that you were, only a Cancer, but Cancers first and foremost are emotional beings, and Cancers are ruled by the moon. Now, the moon is the fastest changing body in our sky. It changes signs every 2.5 days. It moves faster than anything else we track. So the moon goes through a lot of cycles and a lot of different phases. And that means that Cancers are moody, but not in a way where it's like huge ups and downs. More so, every day is quite a journey. And there's quite an experience of going from one emotion to another in a little bit more of a distinct way than other signs maybe. But because Cancer is ruled by the moon and the moon is used to going through phases, Cancers, even though you can call them moody, they're not tumultuous or volatile on their own. I'll explain where Cancer gets a bad rap in a little bit. But Cancers are ruled by the moon, so they go through phases and they change throughout even the course of a day many different times. But Cancer is also a cardinal sign. So the cardinal signs are Cancer, Aries, Libra, and Capricorn, and they start out each season. So because they are the leaders of that season, they tend to be leaders in the way that they live their life. And it's a little bit of a paradox to think of Cancer as being this emotional, vulnerable, moody, like phasal kind of body, and also a leader. But Cancer is the leader of the emotional signs, the water signs in that way, because it is setting out to make a safe emotional environment for themselves and the people that they value. Very much a protective tone. That's why, above all else, if you want to describe the adverb or like the adjective that would really describe Cancer, it would be protective in my opinion, because they're very guarded of what is valuable. They want to keep themselves cozy, warm, like me in a robe right now with my necklace from my outfit earlier. I feel like it's very just Cancer, because they can be a little bit extra and a little bit like fairy, like sprinkle here, there kind of thing. Like they're not like Pisces, which they can just be like absolutely like don't give a shit about what they look like or anything. But with Cancers, there is a focus on wanting to protect what is valuable and wanting to ensure that it is safe and guarded. Cancer is associated with the Chariot tarot card, and often that tarot card is thought of as like, what are your like belongings that are taken with you? What is carrying you throughout life? What is that support system? So Cancers aren't necessarily the quietest. I'd say that Scorpio and Pisces are probably a little bit more guarded in terms of like showing their emotions, like flat out on their sleeve. Pisces, I would say, is a little bit easier to topple over emotionally, but Cancers are a little bit more like, they're gonna be the ones that go out and make an impression a little bit more. And Cancers, like, even though they're ruled by the crab, I think that turtles are also a really good example of Cancers, because turtles move very slowly, very carefully, but they're not like fearful animals. Like they'll just go into their shell and fucking hide out forever. Crabs are also, like I said, Cancers are known as the crab. I think the crab is a very good analogy for Cancers, even though I think it's more around the movement of Cancer, because crabs move side to side and Cancers also move side to side. They tend to beat around the bush as fuck. They tend not to be direct. And I think that's where Cancers can get a little bit of a bad rap, because Cancers are waiting to scope out their environment before they make a move. And the way that they scope out their environment, it's kind of like testing the waters in many different ways. So I find that with Cancers, I can pick up on this and find it a little funny and just be like, yo, you don't need to do all this. Just tell me what you want or tell me that you want this. Some other people can be like, oh, this is very manipulative, or feel like this Cancer is kind of like not getting straight to the point. If you push them, well, sometimes they'll freak out, but sometimes they're just like, thank you, I am able to express this. I actually had a friend growing up who was a triple Cancer, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, I think. And I remember she would have trouble saying her name without saying, I think my name is. Like, if you asked her what time it is and you know it's 5 p.m., she'd be like, I think it's like 5, like there's a thing, I remember being like, you don't need to say you think something's happening. If you know it's happening, like she would, like if something, like if she couldn't do something, she'd like be like, I don't think I can. And some people still do that aren't Cancers or whatever, but I thought that was so textbook Cancer, with the inability to be direct, more so beating around the bush in order to not overwhelm or scare someone. So Cancers are very good at like tiptoeing around things and going side to side instead of directly at things. But that's not always a bad thing. I find that it's great for like nurturing environments or caretakers. That's why I love Cancers, especially like my Cancer girlfriends. I'm just like, oh my God, I get along so well with you guys. Like just the whole nurturing, caring vibe. And there is an element of like, if you wrong a Cancer, they can be extremely over dramatic and manipulative and victimy about it. Like if you are like, you know, I don't like the way that you treat me, because they can have a temper. Cancers can have a temper. I'd say that they're the most temperamental of all the water signs. Like Scorpios hold it in until they burst. Pisces just kind of react then and there and don't hold much back. They're very like go with the flow with their emotions. Cancers are very like more internalizing but then vindictive about the way that they react, because emotions to them are a little bit more distinct and protected. Like they will feel very, very hurt on a more surface. Like Scorpios, if you hurt them, they're gonna kill your family. Cancers, if you hurt them, they're gonna immediately right then and there make a plan to get revenge that weekend. And probably their revenge is a little bit less vindictive than a Scorpio, but it's more emotionally distraught. Like they'll write you some huge long message that's really love bomby, and then like try to like manipulative, that kind of thing. So I think Cancers can be a victim, or they can have victims. Like Cancers can definitely love bomb and then like emotionally do a 180 freak out kind of thing. They're not like Geminis where they literally will change their mind on a dime, and then you're like, what the fuck happened? And they're just like, I don't know, I got bored. Cancers are more like, they can overanalyze a situation, imagine that emotional circumstances are there that aren't, get hurt over legitimately nothing, and then act out. Like I think Romeo and Juliet is a very Cancer metaphor thing, because it's like killing yourself and then not even being dead. Like Cancers can jump the gun on what other people mean, and they can pick up on micro, like I don't want to say microaggressions, but micro movements and things that like that didn't mean that. Like me being serious did not mean that there was anything wrong with you or that I didn't like you. Me insisting on paying or something doesn't mean I don't like you. Like, you know what I mean? Cancers can take things a little too personally, I'll say that, and overanalyze things. And that comes from, again, the circular roundabout, very, very, I find Cancers, even Cancer men, very feminine energy usually. Very like circular, non-linear, understanding, caring, which is great for those modalities. And then when it comes to like more linear, cut and dry relationships of like this, that, it's like, oh my God, I was hurt, I felt taken advantage of, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, I like, what? So that can be some of the pros and the cons to Cancer energy, but I feel like people can misunderstand them as a little bit more of a crybaby than they are. They might seem like a crybaby because they wanted this reassurance and they wanted this overly clear understanding that they were loved and valued. And when they don't feel that way, they act out for attention or for like trying to get back at you. Honestly, like it's a little bit like cats. Cats are more Leo overall, but with cats, like if you don't give them toys, if you don't play with them, they might start tearing apart your furniture because they just want to feel like they're doing stuff. They're you know, they belong, that they're having fun. So with Cancers, like if you don't, you know, pet them, reassure them, do their little like thing with them, they might act out because they feel like you don't like me, boo-hoo, like that thing. But it doesn't mean that they're actually sad victims. You just have to know that the Cancer is delicate but also fierce. Like small but mighty kind of feeling, even though Cancers actually look like, Cancers look like two different archetypes. There's two versions of the Cancer. There's the moon face Cancer and the crab face Cancer. The moon face Cancer is very like big almond eyes, a little bit of like a more baby fat of a face where it's just like they have the roundness, Then the crab is extremely small eyes, usually closer together, very high cheekbones and very long and elongated. Look up people that are Cancer risings or Cancer suns. I swear to God, they will either have the moon face or the crab face. I can immediately know that a moon face example, even though she's like more gaunt, is Angelina Jolie. Like she has those big like moon-like eyes. I can't think of any crab examples off the top of my head for people with, because I can just think of personal ones. But if you look up Cancers, they're either one or the other. It's either super, super like lunar or super, super crab-like. It's just a thing. And also Cancer women either have big boobs or no boobs at all. Like because Cancer rules the chest and like the boobs, they literally either have like, it's very distinct or nothing. It's always like it's dramatic either way, or they've gotten a boob job or something and it's in the middle or whatever. But with Cancers, I think it's like the ultimate statement is protection and valuing, guarding what is valuable and having a safe space. Like safe spaces, but actually apply to Cancers. As like a Virgo, there's no fucking safe space. It does not exist. It's an anti-safe space in this home. For Cancers, that is like the delicate, wanting to guard what is valuable sign that just wants a little reassurance. And then it can be the leader to guard emotions of others too. Because when a Cancer cares about you, they will guard you so lovingly. Because you're you're like part of their family now. So they want to protect you along with themselves. And Cancers are the best huggers. By far the best huggers, in my opinion, out of any sign. So yeah, it's my little rundown of Cancers. I do not have a fit check because I'm in a robe right now waiting on a friend. Probably gonna, honestly, I want to take lingerie photos. That's usually why we link up. It's because it's like, oh, can you help me? It's like, yeah, and so I'm not gonna film a video in that. Anyway, I hope this makes sense and helps you out with Cancer season, and I will see you in the next one.